Did you know that a simple bag of beans might one day be worth more than gold? Or that your grocery store shelves might be empty due to a supply chain interruption thousands of miles away? We're going to talk about something today that could make or break your home's readiness. From everyday essentials like pasta and rice to underrated lifesavers that last for years, we're exposing 10 grocery goods in this video that you definitely must have on hand before next month. We'll go over why having these things on hand is crucial currently, but don't worry, we'll also be revealing the real reasons behind the recent food shortages, as well as some creative ways to boost your supplies without going over budget, so stay tuned. We assure you that the stakes are higher than you may think. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications if you're new to our channel. We're going to provide you with the best guidance on how to remain innovative throughout uncertain times. Let's get going now. You might be asking why grocery stockpiling is so crucial. Compelling reasons why this is a smart choice. For instance, you now pay $2.50 for a loaf of bread, a 25% increase from the previous year. Our purchasing power has been steadily declining due to inflation. Therefore, it's imperative that we purchase needs now before costs increase much more. Imagine finding that your favourite canned products are no longer available at your neighbourhood grocery store. Fresh produce is in short supply as a result of recent incidents like the Morrison's supply chain ransomware attack. Such incidents underscore the vulnerability of our food supply and the importance of storing essentials at home. For instance, fresh food imports from Latin America are halted by an East Coast port strike, which drives up prices and panic buying in a number of states. Unexpected shortages can result from natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and other natural disasters that impair the supply of products. Additionally, transportation networks may be impacted by these natural disasters, making it challenging for retailers to replenish their inventory. And the goal of stockpiling is foresight, not fear. You can take proactive steps to guarantee your family's well-being, regardless of any challenges that may come, by being aware of these possible disruptions. Imagine having a medical emergency that strains your budget or losing your job without warning. A healthy stockpile serves as a safety net, enabling you to support your family without facing sudden financial difficulties. Now let's get to the what. Let's examine the top 10 grocery items you should consider hoarding after talking about the reasons. The unsung heroes of your cupboard are beans. They are an excellent source of fibre and protein, which promotes digestive health and prolongs feelings of fullness. Actually, eating beans on a regular basis has been associated with a lower risk of heart disease and lower cholesterol. They are incredibly versatile in the kitchen and may be used in a variety of recipes, including salads, desserts, and hearty soups and stews. Black beans, for instance, can be blended into brownies to provide moisture and nutrients, or they can be prepared into a creamy dip to serve with fiery chili. Beans are a wonderful staple for stockpiling because they are very affordable and have a lengthy shelf life. They come in a range of selections and are durable, so you can be sure you have a reliable supply of protein when fresh meat or produce may be hard to come by. You can keep your meals interesting and diverse by including legumes like kidney beans, chickpeas, lentils, and black beans in your diet. These legumes are helpful and practical whether you're preparing a classic bean soup, a refreshing salad, or experimenting with bean-based treats. Lastly, the greatest saviour is canned goods. Let's talk about canned goods, one of your pantry's most unappreciated heroes. In addition to being convenient, canned goods are long-lasting. If preserved correctly, some can remain fresh for years or even decades. All of this is made possible by heat treatment and airtight sealing, which preserve nutrients and freshness so that you always have a fallback option available, even when fresh food is out of reach. These little metal saviours might make the difference between a full tummy and a miserable trip to an empty grocery shop, despite their seemingly insignificant appearance. Here's where the magic happens. When fresh meat isn't available, canned tuna chicken or even Spam can provide the extra protein you need. Pro tip: for a quick and filling dinner, combine rice or spaghetti with canned chicken. Fun fact: did you know that the invention of canned products was influenced by canned goods? Is it possible to accumulate green beans, maize, peas and vegetables? They don't need to be chopped or peeled, and they're all packed at their freshest. Soldiers needed them to survive long deployments during World War II, and citizens kept them supplied at home. They've been nicknamed the first emergency meal, and for good reason. Use the oldest cans first, rotate your stock, and look for dents to get the most out of canned foods. Despite its seemingly harmless appearance, a dented can can lead to contamination. Don't just walk past those shelves the next time you're at the grocery. Use your imagination to transform canned products into soups, casseroles, or even desserts. Yes, canned pumpkin pie counts. Let's talk about dry pasta at number 8, which is one of the most versatile yet fundamental goods on your stockpile list. This simple basic might not seem like much at first, but believe me when I say that it can make all the difference when you need it most. What makes pasta so important? To begin with, storing it is quite simple. Just place it in an airtight container. However, the small, reliable things are what really count when life becomes uncertain. Pasta is a blank canvas, not simply food. Consider this. You can dress it up with canned tomato sauce and a dash of dry herbs, and you'll have a filling, elegant meal. Even if you want to keep it fresh for 2 years or more, you can add canned tuna or mushrooms for a gourmet touch. If stored properly, pasta rarely gets damaged by pests and doesn't require particular conditions like some other foods do. When the refrigerator is empty, pasta will save the day. It may surprise you to learn that amid supply chain interruptions, dry spaghetti is often one of the first products to leave grocery store shelves. This is due to the fact that it is affordable, satisfying, and perfect for families that are attempting to stretch their meals. It's also flexible in MRIES. Pasta doesn't need to be refrigerated and cooks in a matter of minutes, making it virtually a time saver, whether you're dealing with inflation or an unforeseen power outage. Let's begin with rice, a pantry staple that has stood the test of time. Trust us, there's a reason why it's more than simply a basic food. It's a lifeline for millions of people globally. Get some additional packs of your favourite shapes, spaghetti pan, or even macaroni the next time you're supermarket shopping. When that well-balanced bite turns a bad day into a satisfying supper, your future self will be grateful. Rice always works well, whether you're making a quick fried rice, a filling bowl of risotto, or even experimenting with new foods like sushi. Fun fact: did you know that for more than 10,000 years, rice has been the mainstay of civilizations? It's the ultimate survivor, from contemporary kitchens to ancient Chinese empires. Buying rice in bulk is now an excellent strategy to save money because worldwide inflation is driving up the cost of food. It's a wise approach to beat out price hikes in the future, but the problem is that not all rice is created equal. Brown rice is healthier but has a shorter shelf life due to its natural oils, whereas white rice keeps the longest because it has no oils that can go rancid. Using vacuum-sealed bags or airtight containers to keep moisture and pests out is the best way to make sure your stockpile lasts. If you're serious about long-term storage, consider rice as the sixth item on the list is canned mushrooms, the underappreciated pantry hero. Let's talk about canned mushrooms, a cheap, often overlooked treasure that should be a top priority in your supply because they're more than just a pizza topping. They're a satisfying, adaptable, and substantial meal that can turn even the most basic ingredients into a substantial meal. Therefore, don't undervalue the power of rice. It's more than just food, whether you're preparing for uncertain times or cooking a storm. It's also a bag of peace of mind, because canned mushrooms retain their nutrition and flavour for months or even years. They are a great option when fresh produce is unavailable. because of natural disasters, supply chain issues, or even a busy week that prevents you from going to the shop. Additionally, don't underestimate how versatile they are. You can sauté them for a quick and simple supper, stir them into soups, or add them to a hearty pasta dish. In addition to being incredibly inexpensive, a single can costs a fraction of what you'd pay for fresh mushrooms, and they absorb flavors like a sponge, making them the perfect team member in your kitchen. You won't have to worry about tossing out any slimy, forgotten leftovers. Let's be honest, if you stockpile these during a power outage or food shortage, you'll feel like a gourmet chef when you stroll into your pantry. However, here's a fancy fun fact. Canned mushrooms are not only convenient, but they are also a great source of essential minerals like potassium and selenium that are good for your overall health and immune system. The next time you see mushrooms on sale, pick up a few cans because in times when fresh produce isn't accessible, these common mushrooms could save the day and your dinner. I bet you never thought that a can of mushrooms could be this useful. Let's now discuss a creamy topic. There is much more to this jar of tasty and unexpectedly adaptable peanut butter than just a snack. Rich in protein, good fats, and enough energy to sustain you through tough times, it is a nutritional powerhouse. Because peanut butter doesn't need to be refrigerated for months or even years if left unopened, it's perfect for hoarding. This is a fascinating tidbit regarding peanut butter in the First World War. Select natural peanut butter with fewer ingredients when buying peanut butter for your stash. It will be better and last longer as a result. Second, peanut butter was utilized by soldiers to increase their energy levels. But hold on, it goes beyond simple survival. Imagine that a spoonful of peanut butter may instantly improve your mood while you're rationing food and under stress. It's also quite adaptable. You can use it to make a quick peanut butter banana sandwich, spread it on crackers, or mix it into oatmeal. Oats, your go-to ingredient for any meal, come in at number 4. The truth is that oats are a powerful element that you shouldn't ignore while assembling your pantry. Yes, those humble little flakes are often thought of as only a dull breakfast item. The next time you're at the grocery store, pick up a jar or two of peanut butter for your health. And keep in mind that those big tubs are your greatest buddy. Believe me, you'll be happy you did when things become hard. Start by stockpiling, because they're easy to prepare and packed with nutrients and fibre to keep you feeling full and energized. Oats make the ideal survival meal. Comfort food at its finest is a warm cup of oatmeal on a chilly morning, yet it's far less expensive than gourmet cereals. But did you know that oats can be used to make muffins, pancakes, cookies, and even a crunchy granola topping? They're not just for breakfast. Expert advice: mix them with flour to make a gluten-free alternative to oats were a staple diet for soldiers during World War II since they were easy to transport, portable, and didn't deteriorate if they were excellent enough to sustain troops. This is something that most people are unaware of. Oats are also a stockpile superstar because, when kept correctly, they may last for years without losing their quality, so they're always available, whether you need them for an emergency or a relaxing Sunday brunch. Cooking oil, the unsung hero of your kitchen supply, is the third item on your list. Let's discuss cooking oil, which you most likely use on a daily basis but may totally forget about when assembling your supply. Indeed, this golden liquid is a crucial lifeline for more than just cooking. When it comes to survival and meal preparation, think about how you're going to fry that rice to perfection without using cooking oil or sauté those beans you've stocked up on. Cooking oil costs have been growing recently due to issues with the global supply chain and the effects of climate change on agricultural productivity. Did you know that the biggest palm oil exporter in the world, Indonesia, just imposed export restrictions? Such occurrences have an impact on the market, and you can avoid headaches later by stockpiling. While some oils, such as canola and olive oil, have longer shelf lives than others, not all oils are created equal. Olive oil can be kept for up to 2 years without being opened if it is kept in a cold, dark location. Canola oil, which has a 1-year shelf life, is not far behind. The decision is clear when compared to lard or butter. Here's a hint. Consider freezing your oil to further extend its shelf life. It may surprise you to learn that cooking oil was used to produce explosives during World War II, in addition to being a food item. Do you realise how crucial it was? Even now, when it comes to cooking, food preservation, or even emergency DIY candle manufacturing, it remains one of the most useful tools you can own. Don't just pick up a container of cooking oil the next time you're shopping. Salt, your stockpile's hidden hero, is the second crucial stockpile advice. Let's discuss a popular yet often overlooked grocery item. Salt, the unassuming white crystal that you keep in your pantry. One of the simplest methods to make sure you can maintain the flavour and functionality of your meals, no matter what happens, is to stock up on a single bottle of oil. Which cooking oil is your favourite? Do you support olive canola or another brand? Tell us in the comments section below. Salt has been used for years to preserve food before freezers, despite being the perfect flavour to enhance every cuisine, from basic scrambled eggs to rich soup. Salt was the most common preservative used by humans prior to freezers because it extracts moisture from food, making it nearly impossible for it to maintain its flavour. The kitchen might therefore change the rules of survival. Let's dissect it first. Suppose there was no salt in the world. People used bacteria to survive in the absence of modern technology, which allowed them to preserve the edible quality of their meat, fish, and even vegetables for months at a time. But hold on, salt has additional uses than food. It can be used to clean, disinfect, and even aid in the healing of small wounds. It's like your pantry's Swiss Army knife, and if you buy it in bulk and keep it somewhere dry and cool, it will survive for years. Instead of using table salt, think about storing kosher or coarse salt, which are perfect for curing meats or fermenting veggies. Since food costs are rising due to inflation and supply chains are growing unpredictable, one of the easiest and least expensive methods to be ready for anything is to stockpile salt. Why not put salt on your shopping list today? Having this little but effective tool on hand also helps you feel more at ease. Salt is the sweet survival secret when the chips are down. Let's talk about sugar. It's really easy to use and very powerful. From baking your favourite delicacies to preserving jams and even creating your own kombucha, sugar is a multifunctional powerhouse. It is essentially a legend of survival. Did you know that sugar has an endless shelf life if handled correctly? Yes, even the most durable canned products may not last as long as that bag of sweetness in your cabinet. Fun fact, sugar never goes bad because sugar has a few lesser-known applications. But did you know that it can also be used to light a fire? If you need a quick fix, use it with potassium permanganate. Because sugar is hygroscopic, it absorbs moisture to stop the growth of mold and germs. However, sugar may clump harden and lose its enchantment if it comes into contact with dampness. Store it in a sealed bucket or an airtight container in your pantry, away from heat and moisture to avoid this. Sugar can soften tough bread, keep cookies fresh, and even relieve burns without igniting fires. You read it right. This is a first aid technique. Not only does sugar provide sweetness, but it also fosters security, ingenuity, and the knowledge that you have one of the most practical elements on hand. You'll thank yourself later if you buy additional sugar the next time you see a discount. Now, share any inventive ways you use sugar in the comments section. Need in your survival pantry. How to store food items. Well, you know what you should stockpile, but how can you do it efficiently without feeling like you're preparing for a catastrophe? Rest assured that we have you covered. Purchasing in bulk is one way to get started, but use caution. Instead of buying 10 bags of chips because they're on sale, follow the golden rule of stockpiling and concentrate on essentials like rice beans and canned items. Look for bargains at warehouse stores or online merchants where buying in bulk actually saves money when buying necessities that will nourish you as well as fill your pantry. Interesting fact, did you know that items in bulk, including beans and pasta, are sometimes 30 to 50% less expensive per pound than smaller packages? It would be like to receiving free meals each time you purchase. Sales are like your treasure map. Around holidays or seasonal changes, stores usually run sales on non-perishable goods, which is a good time to stock up and make a purchase. Take advantage of sales where you can receive one item for free, and remember that dry foods and canned items have extended shelf lives, so it's okay to buy more. Time is crucial now. Get there early to take advantage of the hottest prices before they go away if your business restocks on Thursdays. It's similar to searching for the most recent treasure. Do you mean that 3-use vouchers are still good? I understand your thoughts, but you'll be in heaven if you pair them with a sale. Even digital vouchers are available. For you, saving you the trouble of clipping papers. In 1999, for instance, a family used coupons and made bulk purchases, saving more than $200 in a month. Imagine the amount of food you could accumulate with those four. The majority of individuals make the error of buying in bulk, putting everything in a corner and forgetting about it till the end of time. Keep in mind to rotate your food supply. Avoid being that individual. Make careful you rotate your meals frequently to prevent food waste. Although your supplies are usually fresh, did you know that with the right storage conditions, canned goods like beans and tomatoes can survive up to 5 years? Instead of treating your stockpile as a waste, treat it like a treasure trove. You've bought all the essentials, such as canned goods, rice, and beans. But trust me, it won't be enough to just place everything in your kitchen cupboard. Let's discuss the most creative and ingenious ways to keep your supplies on hand, along with some surprising, considering your pantry as the VIP area of your stockpile is the first line of protection. It's practical and perfect for things you use often, like dry pasta and canned foods. But the caveat is that you have to keep your pantry dry, cool, and out of direct sunlight. The worst enemies of your foodstuffs are heat and humidity. Try rotating shelves or stackable bins to make the most of the space in your pantry. In addition to being practical, it gives you the impression that you're running your own little second supermarket. The basement is a prepper paradise. Congratulations if you're lucky enough to have a basement. Prime storage is available to you. Because they are inherently colder and darker, basements are ideal for long-term storage. No one wants their rice stash to become an ant smorgasbord, so it's crucial to watch out for moisture and pests. To avoid unexpected water leaks or unsettled insects, it's a good idea to store your belongings on raised shelves instead of the floor. Everything ends up in the garage, but if you take care of it, it can also be a terrific location to store stuff. Oils can be destroyed by high heat, whereas canned products can be ruined by freezing temperatures. Big time. Ensure that everything is securely sealed. Your garage may become a rodent rave party with just a tiny hole in a bag of flour. Run out of space, think creatively, and get inventive. Under the bed are 4 hidden jewels. For items like vacuum-sealed snacks or oats, storage boxes are perfect. Another option is to use closet shelves that aren't being used, but make sure the area remains dry and cool. The amount of hidden storage you truly possess may surprise you. Consider this for a moment. Who is winning in the event of a supply chain failure or zombie apocalypse? The one with canned beans crammed beneath their TV stand, or the one with a neat pantry, cellar, and garage? A little organising now can save you a lot of hassles later. And isn't it oddly pleasant to have everything in its proper place? It's important as what you're storing. Marie Kondo encounters survival training. Imagine buying all the correct groceries only to have them spoil or be lost to pests or mould. But don't worry, we'll teach you how to turn your pantry into a freshness oasis. First, Let's talk about how to store your food for the long haul, including freezing them to keep them fresh. Freshness. One of your best kept secrets for long-term storage is your freezer. Before storing your grains and flour in sealed containers, place them in the freezer for at least 48 hours if you want them to survive for years. Any pests or eggs that could be lurking there will be killed by this. Additionally, you may preserve nuts, seeds, and even butter for months by freezing them. To avoid freezer burn, just make sure you use freezer-safe bags. Nobody wants their rice to taste like the lasagna toucans that their grandmother approved of last month. Two of the main causes of food rotting are air and bacteria, which can be avoided by sealing food in jars and heating it to high temperatures. Start by canning high-acid foods like tomatoes and pickles in a water bath for novices. Get a pressure canner to preserve meats and low-acid veggies if you're feeling very daring. It's like tasting sunshine drying light as a feather when you open a jar of handmade canned stew in the dead of winter. Method canning isn't limited to peaches or your grandmother's peaches. For example, if you're serious, dried apples are not only tasty, but with the right storage, can last up to a year. Just store them in a mason jar with a desiccant packet to absorb any sly moisture or in a vacuum-sealed bag. Another option is to use a low-temperature oven or a dehydrator. Tough as nails. Have you ever tried jerky, dried fruits, or herbs? Food that has been dried loses moisture, which makes it almost impossible for bacteria to develop. If long-term storage is important to you, Maya bags are your best friend. Simply add oxygen to these lustrous, long-lasting bags to seal big amounts of popcorn kernels or rice flour. Eliminating air, the enemy of freshness, is the key. Purchase a vacuum sealer to preserve your dry foods, such as beans and rice noodles. Bonus tip: for added protection, include oxygen absorbers while sealing your belongings. When it comes to spoiling, this combo is essentially your worst enemy. Absorbers. Use an iron or heat sealer to close them and keep the bags in a dry, cool place. Your groceries might last for decades if you do them right. Imagine enjoying a hearty lunch prepared with food you can serve today in 5 years, while everyone else is hurrying. That feels really amazing, doesn't it? Every technique, freezing, canning, drying, or sealing, is a piece of the puzzle.